My name is Adam. I am 25 years old and I live in a small town. When I was a child, I did not know English. In my school, we learned English, but I did not understand it well. The words were difficult and the grammar was confusing. I thought, why do I need English? I will never use it. One day my friend told me, Adam, English is important. If you learn English, you can talk to people from many countries. You can travel, watch movies, and find a good job. I thought about it. My dream was to travel. I wanted to see new places, meet new people, and try new food. But how could I travel if I did not speak English? So, I made a decision. I said, I will learn English. At first, it was very hard. I did not understand anything. I tried to read English books, but the words were too difficult. I watched English movies, but the people spoke very fast. Then, I found a good way to learn. I started watching children's cartoons in English. The words were simple, and I could understand some sentences. Every day I watched for 30 minutes. I also started learning new words. Every day I wrote 5 new words in a notebook. I practiced them again and again. One day I met a man from another country. He did not speak my language, and I did not speak his. But we both knew a little English. We talked in simple sentences. It was not perfect, but we understood each other. I felt happy. I thought, I can do this. After 1 year of learning English, I wanted to travel. I decided to visit London. I was excited, but I was also scared. What if I could not understand people? What if I got lost? I started preparing. I watched videos about London. I learned how to ask for directions. I practiced ordering food in a restaurant. I booked my flight and my hotel online. Finally, the day came. I packed my bag, took my passport, and went to the airport. It was my first time on a plane. I was nervous, but I was ready. At the airport, everything was new to me. I saw big screens with flight information. People walked fast and I heard many different languages. At the check-in counter, the woman asked me, "Where are you going?" I took a deep breath and said, "London." She smiled and gave me my boarding pass. I was happy. I could understand and speak. Then I went to security. The officer asked me to take off my shoes and put my bag in a machine. I followed the instructions. After some time, I sat in the waiting area. I looked at my ticket and listened to the announcements. When I heard, "Flight to London, boarding now," I stood up and walked to the gate. When I entered the plane, I saw many seats and small windows. A flight attendant smiled and said, "Welcome aboard." I smiled back and found my seat. Next to me was an old woman. She said, "Hello?" I answered, "Hello." She asked, "Is this your first time flying?" I said, "Yes, first time." She laughed and said, "Don't worry. Flying is fun." During the flight, I looked out of the window. The world below looked so small. The sky was blue and the clouds looked like cotton. I felt excited and free. After many hours, the plane landed in London. I followed the signs to immigration. The officer looked at my passport and asked, "Why are you visiting London?" I answered, "Tourism." He smiled and said, "Enjoy your trip." I walked outside the airport and saw London for the first time. The air was cool and the city was busy. Red buses, black taxis, and tall buildings were everywhere. I took a taxi to my hotel. The driver asked, "Where to?" I said, "Hotel Grand, please." He understood, and we drove through the city. I looked at the streets, the shops, and the people. Everything was different and exciting. The next day, I went to explore London. First, I visited Big Ben. It was tall and beautiful. I took many pictures. Then, I walked to Buckingham Palace. Many people stood outside waiting to see the guards. I asked a tourist, "When do the guards change?" He said, "At 11 a.m. I waited and watched. The guards wore red uniforms and black hats. They marched in a line. It was amazing. After that, I went to a restaurant. I wanted to try British food. I looked at the menu and saw fish and chips. I ordered it. When the food arrived, it smelled delicious. I took a bite. It was crispy and tasty. In the evening, I went to a park. I sat on a bench and looked around. A man sat next to me. He said, "Nice weather today." I answered, "Yes, very nice." We started talking. He was from London. He told me about the city, the history, and good places to visit. I told him, "This is my first time in London." He said, "Welcome. I hope you enjoy it." I felt happy. I was using English. I was talking to people and understanding them. After 5 days in London, it was time to go home. I packed my bag and went to the airport. On the plane, I thought about my trip. I remembered my first English lesson, my first conversation, my first flight, and my first time in London. I smiled and said to myself, "Learning English changed my life. Now I can travel, meet people, and see the world." When I arrived home, my friends asked, "How was your trip?" I answered in English, "It was amazing." This story is about learning and adventure. It shows that learning English can open doors to new experiences. I hope you like it.